So the World Series starts tonight. The Sox aren't in it, but two of the people who helped us win in 2004 for the first time in 86 years are former general manager, now Cubs president Theo Epstein, and former manager and now Cleveland manager Tito Francona. The Cubs versus the Trot. Cleveland hasn't won a World Series since 1948 when they beat the Boston Braves. Chicago hasn't won since 1908. And because of the century-long hiatus, the Cubs are everyone's darling. That is, everyone except me. First, let me say I love losers. And since the Cubs are the biggest losers, why am I not on board? Before I explain, let me describe my personal experience with losers. I grew up in Philadelphia. The Phillies, worst team, perennial basement dwellers, hadn't won since ever. When I was a little kid, they were about to break through in 1964. Leading by 6.5 games with just 12 to play, they lost 10 in a row and didn't make it. I still have my uncles and my unused tickets. I am still scarred. Then I was living in New York in 1986 when the Mets won their first series. And yes, it was 30 years ago this week that the ball went through Buckner's legs. But back to the current matchup and why I am not rooting for the Cubs. It's not because I don't like the players. In fact, I only know one, John Lester, and that's because he played with the Sox. And it's not because I like the Cleveland players. Only one I know on that team doesn't play, Francona. And as much as I admire Sox fan-in-chief Stephen King, it's not because he persuaded me with this tweet. Enough with the Cubs. How about some love for the Cleveland Indians? Go Tribe. Rather, it's because I had the misfortune to interview the Cubs president years ago. And it wasn't because Epstein was rude and condescending towards me, though he was. I've interviewed plenty of rude and condescending public figures. It's because of how rude and condescending he was towards his own public relations person in front of me and my crew after an interview he wasn't happy with. I know, get over it, Jim. Sorry, but that's not in my DNA. So, the Cubs may win, and if they do, Theo goes to the Baseball Hall of Fame, having retired an 86-year-old curse, then a 108-year-old one. But I don't judge a person by how he or she handles their millionaire employees, but how they handle average, anonymous, hard-working ones. Or as someone cleverer than me once said, the real test of your character is how you treat people you don't have to be nice to. On that, Theo's no Hall of Famer. So, as Stephen King said, go Tribe, and as he might have said, only 5 months till opening day. What do you think? Email us, tweet us, share your thoughts.